Hello! In today's video we're going to be improving my filming setup, so let's get on with it. Roll titles! Welcome to the channel if it's your first time here, and welcome back if it's not. Now in today's video we're going to be improving my filming setup that I have here at my table. I think I need to show you a bit of it and go behind the camera, but we'll get to that in a second. And we're going to be doing that by using this, which is a product from Neewer, I never know how to say it, and it is a multifunctional desktop photography overhead shooting bracket. Now basically it is an overhead camera mount, and you're probably thinking, well, you've got an overhead camera already, so what's the problem? Well, I'll tell you what, let's switch the cameras around and I'll explain what the problem is. Okay, so you're seeing what I can see basically now. So this is me filming on my phone, and what you're looking at is my A camera, which is my Canon EOS M6 Mark II, and that films my face cam. And then over here, up there, we've got the Sony ZV-1, which is my overhead camera. And there's the monitor that I use to, well, monitor it. And at the moment, it's sort of suspended on the Elgato multi-mount arm. And you know what? It does the job. But the problem is, because it's got several joints along the way, it can be a bit of a pain when I want to adjust the camera. So if, for example, I take the camera off, one of these joints can move slightly, and it just takes an absolute age to line things up again. And yeah, I was looking for a better solution. Now hopefully that's where this comes in, and this essentially is a framework that goes up the sides of my desk and over the top and allows me to mount a camera to it, and also other lights and accessories should I wish to. It's almost like a goalpost shape, I guess, on top of my desk and sort of hopefully out of shooting view to mount things on. So as well as having this overhead camera, I could have a secondary overhead camera at a slightly different angle. Or maybe if I wanted to get even fancier, I could have a moving one. So if I'm like doing time lapse of fixing something and I want to make the shot look a bit more interesting, I might be able to rig up some sort of moving thing across the arm, maybe. But yeah, I just don't have the flexibility with the setup that I do at the moment. And realistically, I've been using this since I was back in the flat and filming on my dining table before we had this lovely studio to record in. So yeah, I thought it was time for an upgrade. Now, upgrades aren't cheap. This retails at around about £140, and for a whole heap of metal, that does feel quite expensive. I mean, newer stuff does tend to be of a good quality. I have actually done a review of a Neewer light, which is lighting behind me, but I'll put a link to that up in the corner there. But I do like Neewer products, so yeah, I thought I'd give this a go. So I think what's in this kit is essentially two upright poles, a pole that goes across, and it's all height adjustable. It will reach out to the width I want, and there's also a bracket for mounting a camera to. You can also get additional bits of hardware to mount more stuff onto. Now the problem is the box is so huge it doesn't actually go in the shot, which I guess in some way highlights the problem that I've got with my existing setup, because I can't take the camera higher. I can, but it just becomes a bit more unstable. So with this setup, I should be able to adjust the height, and you could probably see the whole desk in one shot if I wanted to. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to get this out of the box, we'll see what's in there, have a little look at the quality of the components, and then we'll have to move a camera back there and then get it all installed on my slightly messy desk. It's worth pointing out, Neewer haven't sent me this to review. This is all purchased with my own money, and hopefully it will give you an honest review, although perhaps not as an honest a review as ended up happening with the Kali car scanner. I'll put a link to that one up there. I'll tell you what, while I'm cutting away the packaging and getting it all out of the box, I'm going to give a shout out to all those awesome people that have joined the channel. Now, joining the channel basically gives a little bit of extra money to it, and it means I can afford to buy stuff like this and review it without any sort of influence from someone who sent me a product. So yeah, if you want to see more stuff on this channel, then please do consider joining it just to support it, or even just clicking the subscribe and like button really does help the channel grow. Let's get this out of the packaging and have a little look at it. So while I'm unpackaging this, let's give a shout out to all those people who have joined the channel. So first up, we've got our kit fans who are Matt Lovies, JRC Electrical, For the Burbs and Mark C. Then we've got those amazing early birds who are Roberta Gurrison, Dean Ball, Sean at Cablesmith Electrical, Wayne's Retro World, Tim Salt, Sorcerer Stan, and she's back, it's Adventure Rachel, go and check out her channel. Then we've got those lovely, wonderful kit lovers who are Richard Arblaster, Bella Webster, Lawrence and Stairs Sticks Flippin' Fix. And she's still here, it is our wonderful kit nutter. We love her so much. Thank you so much, Becky Boobar, for your continued support. Anyway, on with the video. First up, got some sweets for the kiddies. Please don't feed it to your children. What else we got? Okay, we've got a separate box of bits. We'll look at that in a second. Aha, we got poles. Okay, so this is the Neewer NK002, and this is obviously one of the uprights that clamps onto the desk. Look at the size of that clamp. I mean, it's making me feel quite inadequate with my sort of 20mm thick desk. What size does that go up to? I mean, you're looking at like nearly 4 inches. That must be 8, surely. 9.5 centimeters ish. So this bit clamps onto your desk. These rather heavy duty handles, and it's got height adjustment as well. Now I think I'm right in saying that this can be adjusted to be up to 120 centimeters off the desk, which should be plenty really. I mean, that's getting near the ceiling. Aha, and this is our member that goes across. So it's got yeah, these little connectors that go down into the top of our uprights. We'll have a better look at that. And then we've got an arm on the other side. So yeah, looking at the quality of things so far, that is impressive. That clamp is huge, and it's also, I just can't go over it. And this handle here to adjust it, that's really good. A lot of these sort of clamps, actually, I do sort of ponder about this sometimes. You know, they've got just like the metal kind of stick coming out, and I don't think they're very good for sort of people with disabilities or problems with their hands. But this is a big old chonky boy to get your hands round. So yeah, this could just sort of... Oh dear, right, let's get rid of those big poles. Let's have a little look what's in that box. Ah, okay, so this is where our manual is. We shall have a brief look at that in a moment. So let's see what's included. So this looks like a mobile phone mount. So you could do some overhead filming with your mobile phone. I've got an iPhone 13 Pro Max. Oh, yeah, that just about squeezes in there. Aha, I think these are adapters. Yeah, I think I'm right in saying this. We'll double check in a second. But I think these go at the end of uprights, and you can actually mount studio lights onto them, which is quite handy. And we've got 2 of those. And then, okay, oh, this is nice. This is good. I'm liking this. Oh, right. Okay, so again, I'm not 100% sure. This is a camera mount with a sort of standard, I think it's 1/4 inch screw that goes into the bottom of your camera, and I think this again goes into the top of the uprights. And yeah, it's got an adjustable ball mount, so again you could mount another camera to one of the top corners. And then this is what they provide to mount a camera with. Now I'm pretty sure I saw on the Amazon listing that this has a 12 kilogram load weight, not this specific bit. Actual frame apparently has a 12 kilogram load limit. How true that is, I don't know. But 12 kilograms is actually quite a lot. So yeah, this is the mechanism that they supply for attaching your camera. I mean, I've got all kinds of different mounts and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure if I'll use this, but yeah, you have this little bar here and your pole goes in the hole, and then you can screw the camera on here and you can just undo this slightly and adjust it to all different angles, and also adjust this head too. Yeah, it's all right really. Let's just have a little thumb through the instructions because, you know, this is good to RTFM. Just gone through everything that's in the box. Yep, there we go. So mount it, like I said. There's not actually all that much to it really. I don't, you know, in some ways you don't need the manual. Actually, that has reminded me, I think for adjustment purposes, got this on here, which is quite helpful. So it means that at either side of the arm you can level out and balance your shots. Actually, what I think I'll do is I'll put on an image that's from the Neewer listing on Amazon, and I'll put a link to the product in the description, and you can see the minimum and maximum heights and also the minimum and maximum widths, although I know the maximum width is 120 mils, because if this disc was any bigger it wouldn't fit. Alright, I think what I'm going to do now is obviously I need to install it on my desk. So I think what I'm going to do is switch to my GoPro, and I'll probably time lapse it because there's just going to have to be a lot of shifting around and stuff like that. But let's see how the installation process goes. Pretty pleased with that. It's a bit hard to get it all in the shot. But yeah, wow. That is really good. I've managed to sort of cable manage everything, and I've used an Elgato arm there to lift my light up and sort of just give a slightly more balanced light over the desk. Yeah, and the camera overhead mounted there. And it is so smart, and hopefully it should mean that there's less wobble when I'm filming at the table, and it just gives me a whole load of different options. So I've got the head here that I could mount a camera to if I wanted to, and then I've got a sort of the lighting head here as well, which goes at the top. Now the only issue that I had was the little clamps, because they are so big and they've got those big handles. They did foul slightly on the legs of my desk, so I would have liked to have moved these out a little bit more, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, let's sit at the table and finish up. Well, there we go. I'm really quite pleased with how it's all turned out. I do think I need to do a little bit of fettling and switching things around. It's just given me so much more potential for filming and different angles and moving lights, and I'd like to do some more PC stuff, not politically correct stuff. This bench is perfect for filming like a PC case on, but there just hasn't really been the sort of space to film it or the apparatus, but now I feel like this is quite a good upgrade and will mean that I can do some slightly different videos in the future. So yeah, apart from a bit of tidying and a bit of desk sorting, it's pretty much there. Awesome. I'm not sure if it would take 12 kilograms of load. Whilst the poles do feel quite sturdy and heavy, I don't know, is that figure correct? They wouldn't put something on the internet that wasn't true, would they? That seems ridiculous. Well, anyway. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but for now, it's game over.